Good evening, fellow patrons. In today's video, I'm giving you the blueprint to beating Caltheris and Astra Malorum every time in solo. I will go over absolutely every facet of this battle from essential augments, loadouts, and mid-fight tactics. To show you guys how effective this strategy is, I battle this large rock at health cap. Jumping straight into the gun builds for this fight, with how much movement and airtime there is in this boss fight, the guns I decided to go with all emulate a smarter spray and pray mentality. Ease of firing and mobility are key for this fight. Build codes will be in the description. We all know about the Breacher at this point. This thing is a wrecking ball. It pretty much shreds everything in its path. The rapid fire attachment will allow you to simply hold down the trigger, and the combo of the tack laser and the precision choke muzzle will harness the recoil of this gun. Say hello to, dare I say, the best gun in the history of Call of Duty Zombies, the freaking Akimbo Dragonfire Akita. You have never seen so many dang damage numbers at once on your screen, ever. I guarantee it. The caboose of this deadly arsenal is the extremely versatile XM25. Note we are not running the belt-fed attachment on this beast. I will explain why this is the more effective mag later on in the video. Here is a video of the augments I had equipped for this fight. There are several that I would like to touch on. Off jump, there are several augments that will significantly increase your movement speed. I highly recommend the Guns Up augment from Stamina Up, the Ammo Surge augment from Speed Cola, and the Dead Heat augment from Deadshot. These will give you more breathing room and space mid-fight. Due to the extensive armor on the boss, you will want to be equipped with the Shatter Blast ammo mod. I put Shatter Blast on the Breacher and the XM25. This ammo mod is absolutely essential. It is definitely worth researching so you can unlock the Blast Through minor augment, which further increases your damage to armor. An extremely overlooked augment that has recently come onto the scene is the Booster Shot augment from Lightmend. The way this augment works is that every time you consume a healing glyph, you can actually increase your maximum HP. The augment activates so frequently that if used consistently, you can maintain 350 health points, which is insane. The field upgrade we will be using for this fight is Toxic Growth, which will slow the boss in the last phase of the fight. I highly recommend researching this perk to the furthest extent. I intended to enter the boss fight at 55, which is health cap, but I was so dialed in that I forgot to kill the last zombie, so my apologies there. For Gobblegums, I would recommend Free Fire, Raindrops, if you have it, and Shields Up. None of them are necessary, but it will make this fight much easier, especially the last phase. I'm sure most of you are aware that this boss fight has 4 phases. Because of how long this fight lasts and how expensive armor is, I would recommend going in with a heavy bag of essence. I honestly would recommend 100k, especially if you're taking on Rockman at high rounds. It disappears in a hurry when armor is 10,000 a pop. Stim shots should definitely be your tactical of choice. You take a lot of damage through all of the phases. The first phase is really a warm-up. I would use this time to get in the habit of cycling your guns so you can make the most out of your ammo mods. Out of the 3 guns, the Akita is probably the one I would favor in this phase because of how the Dragonfire can damage so many zombies at once. It also is nice to ride the Lightmend healing wave so you can limit the armor buys. Once you kill enough zombies, your screen will flash, which means you can fire the laser at Rockman. Lure the zombies away from the altar at the top of the stairs prior to firing the laser. That way you will have enough time to finish the process of firing it or building it, whatever you want to call it. You will need to fire the laser 3 times to complete this phase. After firing the first, you will see an increase in lava patches that will damage you pretty rapidly, so try to keep moving around. Even if you jump over these lava patches, you will still take damage, which makes total sense. Thanks, Treyarch. At some point, toxic zombies will enter the arena. These psychos should be your main focus as they have lower HP than the other zombies, and upon killing them, they will deal toxic damage to surrounding enemies. The third stage of the first phase, a toxic gas will cover the lower portion of the arena from time to time. It mostly just disorients you, but you can take damage from it, so be mindful of your HP bar when traversing through it. The PhD Flopper augments Tribologist increases your slide distance and speed. When you pair that with the Environmentalist augment, you can mitigate the damage you take from the fumes and lava patches if you slide through them. Once you fire the 3rd laser and complete the first phase, Caltheris will evolve into a Rockman that glides around the floor of the arena. This is the form the boss will be in for the rest of the fight. He will start hurling rocks at you, and if you are hit by one, you will take damage and become stunned. It's incredibly annoying. The Breacher will be your best friend for the rest of the fight. The goal is to break Rockman's armor or rock shell as quickly as possible so you can expose his critical spots, which will glow blue. His armor is weak along his arms, so that is where you should be aiming. The boss has this pattern where he will throw a rock at you, then try to bum rush you and attack you with his arms. The best way to avoid taking damage from these two attacks is to learn his throwing cadence, and what I mean by this is that right before each throw, a sound of moving rock rubble will be able to be heard. If you slide laterally when you hear this, the rock will miss you. You can then take advantage of the low gravity and jump to the opposite portion of the arena. This is how you successfully maintain your distance from him. The third phase is essentially the same as the second phase, however Rockman is hurling bigger rocks now, his armor is stronger, and he is faster. The strategy is the same as the strategy we used in phase 2. Remember to cycle your guns to get and maintain the overheal from the Lightman ammo mod. The boss also has a slam attack which you will need to look out for. He will raise up in the air, which is a signal that he is about to slam the ground. Simply just jump to avoid the damage and stun of the slam. Also, don't forget about the XM25. I like to bring it out after the breacher has broken the armor and a critical spot is exposed. For being a light machine gun, the mobility of the XM25 is excellent. It's extremely easy to fire this gun accurately while in the air. It's obviously more difficult to aim while your character is flying through the air, and it should be your main focus. That is why I chose to not equip the belt feed attachment on the XM25, because I want my focus to be solely on where I'm placing my shots and not being distracted by the overheat meter. The last extended mag also offers 170 rounds after packing it, which is plenty. This gun only really comes out for me when I'm really in a crunch and I just need to increase or maximize my DPS, which is essential in the third phase. But yeah, I don't think the belt fed as attachment is the right move. Oh boy, the fourth phase is extremely intense. The boss evolves into an even bigger rock with even more armor, and somehow he got his hands on a barrel of NOS. Like, this dude is wicked fast. The boulders he throws are now emitting this purple glowing mist, which will absolutely wreck your HP. It takes him around 40 seconds to evolve into this phase, so it is essential that between the time you finish the third phase and start the fourth, you place your toxic growth at the base of the stairs. Make sure to pop your shields up as well. If you have raindrops, pop this now as well, because you will not have time to pop it once he takes his final form. Rockman's ability to close ground is quite frightening, and you will need to try your best to use your sliding mechanics to avoid the boulder throws, and then use your low gravity jumps to get as far away from him as possible when he starts charging. Your somewhat safe haven is behind the toxic growth, which will slow him down significantly. I'm not sure if this is a bug that will be fixed in the future, but there is a chance that the boss will become completely stuck in a growth for a short amount of time. He is still lethal because he can throw those boulders, but take advantage of this because it is not guaranteed to last, and it's perfect time for you to just unload on the dude. Even if the boss doesn't get stuck, the growth will give you a few more seconds that are necessary to generate space between you and him and slow his damage output. So as you can see here, the boss got stuck in the toxic growth, which ended up being for about a minute. I would expect for this to be addressed by Treyarch, but I would assume or hope so that the patch would remove the ability for the boss to get stuck and become completely immobile, but be replaced with a more consistent slowing effect on the boss, like you saw earlier when the boss was climbing up the stairs. I mean, the whole point of toxic growth is to slow enemies and not have them become stuck, and I think that the intended purpose of toxic growth is being used in that way if it can slow the boss but not completely immobilize him. So I guess what I'm hoping for is for the total immobilization effect on the boss to be removed in a near patch, because I mean, it is a cheese for sure. I would consider myself an ethical zombies player per se, and I don't enjoy accomplishing in-game feats by exploits or glitches, but I think if a patch is released that allows for, instead of the boss being completely immobilized, the boss becomes much slower when traversing through the toxic growth, which is at the end of the day is the intended purpose of the field upgrade and a legitimate tactic that could be implemented by the players. Anyways, as you can see, once you destroy Rockman's armor, it's pretty much smooth sailing until you eliminate him. I appreciate you guys watching, and let me know your honest thoughts on this toxic growth strategy, and if anything you would like to see addressed by Treyarch. JJet out.